MBEs and prospective MBEs that are going through the process of joining CVMSDC. I'm excited to have Professor Richard Coughlin with us here today. He's one of the professors that leads this University of Richmond program, and he would be one of the professors that you would interact with if you go through the program. He is an international consultant and has just a wealth of knowledge to be able to share with you, which is why it is so important to understand the value of this program. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into information about our organization, and then I will share with you why you should engage in this program. Richard will share with you some of the details of the coursework that we're going to go through, and then we'll share a brief video with you, a testimonial from one of our previous students, and then we'll go into a Q&A period. So without further ado, Margolette, the next slide, please. Thank you, Richard, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So just a little bit about CVMSDC. We never like to have a presentation without making sure that you understand what our mission is. Our organization is now 44 years old. We're one of 23 regional councils across the United States. I happen to be the president of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Our national office sits in New York, and our national president is Adrian Trimble. Our mission as an organization is to expand business opportunities for minority business enterprises, and we call them MBEs, and create mutually beneficial links between corporate partners and MBEs. The ultimate outcome is to add economic value to the supply chain while increasing economic opportunities in the business community. I like to say we help to build wealth. Now, the way in which we do this is through 4 pillars. Next slide, please, Margolette. The 4 pillars of our work are certification. We are the largest certifying agency of MBEs in the United States. But what I like to tell folks is once you get certified, you put that certification in your back pocket, because you never want to call up an organization like University of Richmond or like Capital One and say, hey, I just got certified, I'm looking for an opportunity. You want to use that as just a stamp of approval. What you always want to lead with is your value. And we teach that in this course as well. So once you get certified, there are other pillars that are very important to you. Connection. We host 4 connecting events a year to help you get in front of those individuals that you want to do business with. We help you with matchmaking opportunities, and we just help connect you in one room with all those people together. So that is very important for you to engage in those connecting events. Also, we advocate for you. Because of the sheer size of our organization with over 12,000 members nationwide, we can advocate for you on a national, regional, and local level. And then finally, what we're here for today is development. I like to think that we hang our hat on the developmental opportunities that we have in our region. This program with the University of Richmond is over 11 years old. We've graduated, I think it's about 198 students through this program. The network is tremendously strong. So development is key. As I typed in the chat, like a car needs a tune-up, you as business owners need to continuously be developing your business. It's not good enough just to say, okay, I have my strategic plan, it's in place, and we're doing okay. You have to constantly refine that. When I was an MBE, I went through this program. I think we were in the 2nd class, and it had just really catapulted our business. So next slide, please, Margolette. So today what we're going to talk about is the University of Richmond program, why it is so important for you to take time to attend this program. These are some of our corporate sponsors who help to provide scholarships for each of you to attend this program. It would cost you $5,000 to apply for this program, but we provide that scholarship for you. And I like to tell MBEs that you pay $400 to $600 to become a member of the council, and we in turn give you a $5,000 scholarship. There's no return like that anywhere. Would you agree, Richard?
I would agree wholeheartedly.
So I want to thank all the corporate sponsors that are listed here on this slide. And, you know, one thing that our MBs love when they go through the program is to hear that, you know, BMW gave me a scholarship, Dominion gave me a scholarship, because you can reach back to those organizations and thank them for the scholarship. And then most times they're there to be able to present your certificate to you. I want to share with you 2 positive testimonials from 2 MBEs that went through the program recently. One said, you know, I was losing $1,200 in payroll per month. And after I went through the program, revised my business plan, I was able to turn my business around and go from a loss to a 15% year-over-year growth. That's tremendous. She attributes that to this program. Another MBE, he has some bed sheets for children in hospitals. His distribution was, I'll say it was lackluster. And when he went through this program, one of his peers bought some of his sheets and was able to donate those sheets to a hospital. He was able to get a lot of press from that. And now he has nationwide distribution with his sheets. I share both of those stories for two reasons. One, the first MBE who has a phone answering service, she was looking at her business in one way. And she thought everything was good until she came into this class and she went through the finances and she realized how much she was actually losing. And so, it was an eye opener for her and she was able to turn her business around. The second example shares how you all can help each other, MBE to MBE. As you go through this program, the cohort group is extremely strong. Everyone sticks together. The classes compete with each other, and you will find that there is just a wealth of opportunity, MBE to MBE, as well as the opportunities you will have when you go after the different companies that are listed here, plus other organizations that are part of our membership. So with that, I want to turn it over to Richard to talk about the content of the program. I like to tell MBEs that when you come to this program, it's usually a week long. This year, we're excited to share with you that it's going to be 3 months long and virtual, so you can attend from anywhere and it's not going to disrupt your business. You don't have to shut down and come for 1 week to Richmond. You'll be virtual. But as you go through the program, come with an open mind. Bring your business plan that you currently have and be ready just to tear it apart and just open up your mind to a different opportunity. So with that, I'll turn it over to Richard, who will share with you the different components of the program. Thank you, Richard.
Dominique, thank you very much. I'm so heartened to hear, and we now have almost 200 graduates.
Yes.
To think that this program was born in a van ride. I was on a van as part of a chamber event here in Richmond, Virginia, in 2008 or 9. Happened to be seated next to a wonderful woman named Tracy Jeter at the time. Many of you know her as Tracy Wiley. And Tracy said, "Hey, I have an idea for you." And I said, "I'd love to listen to it." And I think it was about a year later, through some really hard work involving a ton of corporate members of the, at that time, VMSDC, that we got this work done. And I believe I can see that Richard Kelly is one of the guests here. He is one of the architects of the program. So for all the business owners who are on the line, let me share this with you. This program was constructed with a whole lot of input from people just like you, going all the way back to that period, more than 10, 11 years ago. But it also, even then, relied very heavily on the corporate sponsors. So at that time, Richard Kelly was VP of Purchasing for Altria. Altria was a founding member of this program, so was Dominion, and so was Midwest-Vaco. And then when I think back to conversations we had with Ed Bain at Dominion, Laura Kottkamp was there at the time, and all of the stars at Midwest-Vaco, I want to share with you this collaborative effort is really what led to the program that you're seeing today. Now, we have tweaked it every year. And this year, our focus really is on back to basics. We think we understand the kind of position that many of you are in. And so we're going to roll a video here in a moment. I sat down with Cheryl Tan. Some of you may recognize her from her years on television, both here in Richmond and down in Virginia Beach. Well, Cheryl is a business owner, and she's a business owner who decided to go through this program last year. And in the conversation that she and I taped just a few weeks ago, she talked about the very specific components that she's calling on now out of last year's curriculum. I want to roll that tape and then talk a little bit about what this year's curriculum looks like and just expand a bit on what Dominique shared around the format. So if we could roll that tape, it's about a 3-minute video with Cheryl talking about details from last year.
The DISC personality assessment. And I really think about that all the time. And the reason it's important now is as we're finding new markets, we're trying to find new clients, find new client bases, really thinking about how I come across and the people who work best with me and how we can really streamline things because nobody's got extra time or money right now. Sure. And so I've really been thinking about personality. Another one of the classes, of course, is about money. And, Marshall was phenomenal. And I always think about how he talked to us about the importance of tracking our money and knowing when you have the funds to buy that next thing or feel comfortable. So I was already in that mode, yeah. Thankfully. because I was kind of riding a high. Like after we left the University of Richmond, I think a lot of us were doing well, I think. Not, and I can't say that for sure.
I apologize. It seems like there's a connection with this channel, some connection issues. It is trying to buffer here, so just bear with us one moment. Richard, if you wanted to continue on, we'll try to play that a little later.
You bet. Already in the first 30 seconds, you were able to hear Cheryl talk about two different classes that she took as part of the larger curriculum. She mentioned right at the outset a class that we do on communication styles. And that's a really important base from which to build. We want you to understand who you are and who your classmates are. And so we'll do that right up front. Now, as Dominique mentioned, the schedule, the format for this year is stretched out over 3 months. What we're going to ask of you is that you devote a few hours on a Tuesday afternoon on consecutive weeks over those 3 months. And I want to share with you some of the content that we've built and talk to you about this focus on back to basics. So at first, we'll talk about the basics of communication styles and how you deal with those who work for you and work with you and with customers as well. So a real good look in the mirror at who you are and who others around you might be. That will begin in September. So we're planning to launch in September on the 14th. There'll be a little bit of work to be done before you get there, but then we'll talk about communication styles. From there, we're going to have you talk about two other important pieces in September. One is strategic planning. And Dominique said to bring your business plan. We want you to work from there, but Doug Bossy, a colleague of mine, runs a terrific session that gets you to think hard about strategic decisions you face. And then Cheryl was talking just then, just before the film cut off, about the importance of money. And so we have two different sessions on financial acumen led by Marshall Geiger, who's been a longtime participant in this program. Let me pause there and see if we want to take one more shot at running the rest of the video, or I can continue with the rest of the curriculum. Well, we'll be sure to get that video to a place where all of you can view it in its entirety. It's one of 3 different interviews that we've done over the last couple of weeks with people who've been through the program. We know it's important for you to hear directly from them. In October, you'll have a second half of strategy and a second half of financial acumen, just to get you deeper into those conversations on 2 important topics. And then we're really excited about something we've never done before. This year, we want to help each of you build a dashboard. And so we're going to run you through a brief class on analytics. Now, you've probably heard a lot about analytics. You're probably applying some of that today. We want to boil it down to a place where you leave that class with a dashboard that you can use for decision making. So we're really excited to add that piece to class this year. And then I'll lead a class, the final class in October. I'll lead a class on the social responsibilities of business. I think that with the twin pandemics that all of us are dealing with these days, it's important to think about the role of business in society. This will not be a pie in the sky kind of conversation. This is going to be very applied. What is your responsibility as a business owner? And we'll talk a little bit about crisis management. We don't always know where those crises are going to arise, but we need to have a plan in place for that. And we'll talk about it the last week of October. In November, there are 3 classes, one on marketing. It'll be led by Moses Foster and his team. Moses is a graduate of this program and a very successful businessman here in Richmond. And then we'll have 2 final classes, one on human resources and one on negotiations. That last one, taught by a colleague called Violet Ho, has been a favorite of previous participants. She really gets into the weeds about how you can succeed as a negotiator. So Tuesday, 4 to 7 is what we're asking you to block, starting in September, running through November. And I've given you a sense of what the content will be. Now, we're also looking to occasionally build in opportunities for you to hear from guest speakers on a few other topics. We, for the moment, are thinking we may do those on Thursday. I want to spend 1 more minute talking to you about a few components that aren't part of the in-classroom experience. One is that we plan to provide each of you with the opportunity to be mentored, either by a faculty member, maybe you hit it off with a faculty member particularly well, or you really enjoy their expertise, or by a fellow business owner. So we've got a network here at the University of Richmond, including many graduates of this program, who may be interested in mentoring you. If they're further along that process, maybe it would be worthwhile for you to spend some time with them. And then we can connect you with other things going on here at the University of Richmond. We believe everyone who goes through this program is a spider, and we want to make sure you have the full sense of what the opportunities are for everyone who's part of this campus. Faculty will tell you this is the most rewarding week of their year. The opportunity to spend quality time with business owners like you is really what we're here for. So thank you very much for that. I'm pleased to answer questions at the appropriate time, but I'll toss it back to Dominique at this time.
Yes, Richard. The negotiation class was my absolute favorite class, and it helped me throughout my career right after we left the program. So thank you for that. There is a step that can you hear me? Okay,
yes.
There's a step that needs to be taken by all those who are listening. I think some people have already applied, but there's an application step. We talked about the $5,000 scholarship, but the only cost that would be involved is that application fee of $95. And we ask everybody to visit our website and make that first step to apply for the program. And then we will notify you that you've been selected. And we have multiple training programs, and so we'll notify you which program you've been put into. For the most part, if you're very interested in this program, that's the one we want you to attend. But we have 3 other programs as well. So I just want to make you aware of that. And that application that you fill out covers all 3 programs. So you rest assured that you will be placed into one of the 3 programs. Let's open it up for questions. Are there any questions from the field?
Could you please send a link to the application?
Yes, we will send you a link to the application. Absolutely. It's a very simple 1-page application.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So at this time, we'd like to open it up to questions. If you have any questions, please add them to the chat.
One thing that I'd like to add while the questions are coming into the chat, the professors that are at the University of Richmond, as I stated briefly up front, are international consultants. And so you're getting a professor who consults with these major Fortune 500 corporations to consult with you on your business. So there's a question in the chat. It says, if you miss any classes, will they be available via a portal?
So all of the classes are done live, and we don't currently have plans to put them up on portal because we prize the interaction that we experience. Generally, what we have done is if someone has to miss one class, then perhaps we'll invite them to that same class a year later, assuming we're still doing that class, just so they can get that material. Okay. But our preference is to build conversations with one another, and so all of the classes will be done live.
Okay, great. And then the next one is, does the coursework convert to college credit? It does not. We might look into that in the future, but in the past we have not provided any college or CE credits. And then there's a question, can you join more than one program? So my answer to that is I'd like for you to attend a program a year until all the programs are completed. So we have a Sunoco program, we have this program, and then we have a TUC program. So yes, you can attend more than one, but only one per year. So this is a good question, Richard. They want to know how are there going to be opportunities for in-person interactions later in the year, given the fact that we're going to be virtual. And before you answer that, I want to encourage folks, don't be discouraged by the fact that this is virtual. Some people are saying, oh, I want to wait for the next year because this one's going to be virtual. By the sheer fact that this is virtual, it's going to allow you to absorb the material in a different way and give you a longer stretch of time to take this course. And so I think there's going to be a richer component to it by the sheer fact that it is going to be over 3 months. Richard?
And when we can safely all gather, believe me, that's our preference too. And so for the moment, we're hoping that maybe there's a graduation of some kind for this class that can be done in person if conditions allow. But we've also been having conversations with Jeff Conley and with Dominique about the possibility of doing something for all of the graduates of this program. I mean, over a decade, if you could imagine the opportunity to mingle with others who've been through this program. So please know that just as soon as we're able to safely gather, that's what we want to do here on the University of Richmond campus. And we have ideas in mind about how that will happen. The calendar is just not clear to us yet.
Okay. And Richard, Joanne jumped in and said that there are CEU credits available. We haven't engaged in them, so we need to look at that. right?
Yeah, and so most of you know those are continuing education units, credits. They may help you in your own profession, depending on what you're pursuing there. They're different from college credit, so let's be clear about that. But those continuing education units can be helpful to some of you who are pushing to achieve some kind of certification in your own profession. And we can provide more details about that as the program approaches.
Okay, great. And then somebody asked if they can get the scholarship each time. So yes, for every program that we offer, there are scholarships available.
Those corporate sponsors that Dominique mentioned at the front end are such an important component, not only of this program, but of everything that CVMSDC does. And we're so grateful to that tremendous collection of firms who have not only provided their money, but their expertise. They want to help you grow. And I think it shows up in a number of ways.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the founders up front, Richard. Capital One was also one of those founders. Capital One, Altria, Dominion Energy, and then the Midwest Vaco. So all of those founders of the program. Very
I'm glad
grateful
you mentioned that.
Yes.
There's a question about the instructors that I'm happy to answer. So are the instructors tenured with the school or outsourced? Yeah, this is not one of those outsourced programs. We built this program with the talent that exists in our building. We certainly are aware that other colleges have tried a different path to this. That said, we really changed back in, I've been here since 1998, and in 2004, we changed the way that we hire. And we looked for professors who had corporate experience before they went to graduate school. When I got here, there were 37 professors and only 3 of us. I was the third one who had corporate experience beforehand. That's changed dramatically. So the people who are standing in front of you in this course are tethered very tightly to the Robbins School of Business at the University of Richmond, and they have corporate experience that they bring into the classroom. It's a really neat mix of corporate and academic experience. They know the latest going on in their field, but what they really want to do is understand your challenges and how we can help.
Yeah, thank you for that. And there's a great question here about the number of students in each class. We are very intentional about the size of our class. We have kept it to 18. We may go up to 20, but we keep it small because we want you to have that interaction with the professors and to have that direct consultation. You want to add anything to that, Richard?
You've said it so well. We love to keep it small so everyone has a chance to contribute. We learn a ton from you as well.
So there's a lot of information about the course content, the agenda, all that will be sent out to you after you apply. We can post on our website or email to you the proposed layout of the agenda. But once you put in the application and we select you, you will get all the detailed information that you need. The applications are going to close on what date, Marjolette?
They will close on the 15th of this month.
Okay, perfect. And then the class is going to start on September 14th.
That is correct. We'll be doing a little bit of work with all of the attendees in advance of that. So you might begin to see some correspondence from us in early September.
Okay. So again, early September, you'll be notified that you've been accepted, and then we'll start communication with you and the pre-work. There will be some pre-work involved.
And thank you for the clarification. Yes, I should have said the week of the 14th because that's how we think of it. But yes, the first class meeting would be Tuesday afternoon, 4 o'clock on the 15th of September. Really appreciate that clarification.
So Peter wants to know, Michael Peters wants to know how many days a week? Is it just one?
Just one. Yep. So each week you would be getting a new topic area. As I mentioned before, we double up on strategy and on finance because we think those are 2 important pieces. But you're seeing a different professor, generally speaking, every week. Once a week, 4 to 7 is the commitment.
What does the homework look like, Richard?
So in many cases, what our professors want to do is have you think a little about some aspect of your business before you not only think, but maybe do something. So you might prepare a short report about, what your financials look like today or what your strategic plan looks like today. Or in some cases, they might prompt you with a brief reading. So please review this and think about some key questions before you come to class. It's not meant to be burdensome. It's really meant to trigger some thinking before you even arrive in the class on a Tuesday afternoon.
And thank you for that. And then the last project that they have to deliver to the class, can you describe that?
Well, we're still working through exactly how that's going to be formed in the virtual environment. But what we try to do is get you to think about how things might get wrapped together as we go. So if you'll provide us just a little bit more time to get concrete examples of what that's going to look like, we'll be working with faculty over the next little bit.
Okay, great. I'm trying to see Roxanne's question, Margilette. Can you see it?
Yes. She said, is the link for the application for the 5,000 scholarship for the class that we are paying for? So there's an application fee for this program, Roxanne, and that is a $95 fee. However, the program is $5,000 per MBE, and that is the scholarship.
Yeah, so you pay nothing. If we had it in person, you'd be paying for your transportation there. We cover your hotel and the like, but this year, because it's all virtual, there's really no cost to you except your investment in time. And we do ask that you shut everything down for that Tuesday evening so you can be completely focused on the content. That's how you get the most value out of this. Looks like some people are already in, Richard.
Terrific. Thrilled to hear that.
Good. Margilette, do you want to see if the video can play?
I will try. I'm going to stop sharing my
Okay.
screen. Just bear with me.
Okay, if not, the link to all of this will be up on our website when we get done. I think give it another day and we'll have it all up, a day or two, and we'll have it all up, and you'll be able to go back and review the content and see the link. Margilette will be emailing each of you with the link and information, and if you have any questions, Margilette Brown is your contact. Again, I encourage each of you to always be thinking about tuning up your business. It is the way that you stay sharp and relevant. There's a hand up. JC has a hand up.
JC would be Jeff Conley. Thank you, Madam President.
Yes, Jeff Conley.
I was wondering who got their hand up before me. That's me. I wanted to, one, thank CVMSDC and the staff for all the hard work that goes into this University of Richmond program. Many of you know that I once worked for the council, and I can really say that this was one of my favorite initiatives that we took part in. When I moved to Richmond probably 20 plus years ago, the University of Richmond was an enigma to me in a good way. I didn't know a whole lot about the university, but the exposure that then VMSDC and now CVMSDC has afforded me has given me a whole new community of which I'm very proud to be a part of. You could not get better instructors and or colleagues than those that are there at the Robbins School of Business. And it is a community that is vested in the success of the individual as well as the small business. So I'm excited about it, excited about the interest that's being shown today. When you step on that campus, and you will step on it virtually this year, you become a part of a family that will, kind of go with you the rest of your life. Dominique said that negotiations was her favorite course. It was my favorite course, taught by none other than our co-host here, Richard. Unlike Dominique, I had just gotten into a situation where I could have used his negotiation tips. So I said to him, I wish you had taught this class to me a month ago. I would have negotiated a better salary. But at any rate, it's a great group of folks. The team that you will be supported by is very vested in your success. Joanne Even, who's on the call, Deborah Lupp, who is also there, and just a great host of folks that are, and I can't say it enough, vested in your success. Joanne is so proud of MBEs who come through this program. If you ever get to see her office, she has various pictures of success stories where people have been in the paper or been interviewed by the media. So, I mean, that's not that $5,000, of course, being free to you all, but the $95 application fee is a small token toward the success of your business. And I think it will take you very far. So I just wanted to share that, Dominique. You guys did a great job on the call today, and hopefully our video will run.
Well, we don't really need the video after that testimonial from our board chair, Jeff Conley. But if it plays, great. Thank you so much for that, Jeff. And thanks for recognizing Joanne and Deborah.
Knowing when you have the funds to buy that next thing or feel comfortable. So I was already in that mode, thankfully, because I was kind of riding a high. Like after we left the University of Richmond, I think a lot of us were doing well, I think. Not, and I can't say that for sure, but we were in a place where we felt confident. And then I know for myself, I was doing very well. And first quarter, and then March happened, and then things are very different now. And so we're pivoting. And so I'm going back to the disc, going back to my financial spreadsheet that Marshall shared with us, and really thinking about the things that make a strong business. So we've all been rocked. I think it's all affected all of us. But having the things to go back to and the strategies, that won't go away. So I'm thankful for that.
Here comes the toughest question that I'm going to ask you while we're together, and it's this. This year, this fall, the program will be done exclusively online, given the environment that we're in. Now, many of the elements are meant to be the same. We're still going to provide them with great faculty. In fact, we're going to pair them up with mentors and coaches while they're in the program. We're going to give participants an opportunity to mingle with each other outside of class in a virtual environment. The question I have for you is, if there's a business owner out there who's watching this and thinking, I don't know if this is the fall that I should jump into a program like this, what might you tell them?
Oh, 100%. Please do it. Definitely. I mean, this is the opportunity to take some time. So maybe you're a business owner who has been hit in a negative way by COVID, and maybe you have a little extra time, or you're spending that time that you have worrying. This is a great time to go back to the basics, think about your market, think about marketing, think about your money, and get some mentorship from people who know what they're doing. Now, if you're doing really well, because I know there are businesses out there who are doing very, very well, and that's a different position. If you can swing the time to make connections, it could be a place where you can make partners and meet people who could potentially collaborate with you. It's a great community, and one that I miss.
Excellent. All right, that is a wrap. Any closing comments, Richard?
None from me. Thank you so much for the opportunity to partner with you on this information session. And please, for all the business owners out there, know how much we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. If this is the fall for you, we certainly hope that it is. But Dominique, thank you so much for this partnership. It means the world to us that this program is still growing strong. I know some had a doubt in the first year that we'd make it even through that first year. And with your help, we've really, I think, now reached a new high, and looking forward to the next decade together.
Thank you so much, Richard. We feel the same way. We're even looking at ways in which we can take this partnership nationally. So let's continue to grow the program. And to the MBEs who were present today, or those who will be tuning in later, don't wait, register today. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
Thank you.